Hello, my name is Marcus Coker, and I'm a dance instructor. I've been teaching dance, basically swing and ballroom dancing, some country dancing, almost anything that involves a partner, so two people or more, for 20 years. I started off with East Coast swing, and then I really got into Lindy Hop and West Coast, and have gotten into some of the Latin dances and just basic ballroom dances for everybody. But I've been doing this for quite a while. So we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I still do some teaching, but not as much, not as many group classes and that sort of thing, since social distancing is a deal. But I wanted to. It's been a while since I've uploaded any videos. Used to, when I taught classes on a regular basis, I would upload videos right after class with a little bit of instruction, just a little bit of review. But what I've never done, and what I'd like to do now, starting now, is just talk about some of the fundamentals of dancing. So when people come to me, whether they want to get married, they're looking to do their first dance, looking to do a father-daughter dance, or they're just wanting to do something fun, learn a particular dance or a particular style. Sometimes it's for, like we've got to learn to dance to this song, and then that song dictates, we've got to learn rumba. And other times people just want to learn to dance, maybe not a particular style, but we've got to start somewhere. And with everybody that comes in, there are certain fundamental things that apply to every dance. The way you lead and follow is the same, the way you communicate with your partner, and then also how you move your own body. So I wanted to just start a little series where I upload some videos talking about the fundamentals of dancing that you can do by yourself. And whether or not, even if you have a partner, it is a fantastic idea to work on your own and to practice on your own. So, without too much more talking, let's get into some of the basic ideas in dancing. I call them the building blocks or the foundational movements of dance that will help you out regardless of what dance you want to work on. And if you have questions or anything, please put them in the comments. Send me a message through the link in the description. You can find my website. If there's something you want me to discuss specifically, I'll be happy to do that. I'm doing this in my garage. So here we go. Nothing too fancy. So when we talk about dance, we've got to talk about the way that you put your feet on the floor. So one of the first exercises I always have people do is just shift your weight back and forth. So dancing is largely about weight changes, and in your day-to-day life, you're going to usually have weight on both feet at one time. In dancing, it is almost always true, not always true, but almost always true, that you have weight on one foot or the other. So as one foot comes down, the other one comes up. So if you just practice this back and forth, like to your right side, to your left side, to your right side, to your left side. You know those little ball clacker things where like one ball swings down and hits a bunch of balls and then the other one flies up on the end? That's the same idea. As soon as one foot hits the ground, the other one releases, and it doesn't have to come up high, but you do have to get your weight off of it. So this is one of the reasons that dance is fantastic for balance, because you're always standing on one foot or the other. So when you walk down the street, this is the same idea. I put weight onto my right foot, and then it releases from my left. As my left foot comes forward, it releases off my right. So this is one of the first exercises. One of the foundational movements is called a walking step. Easy enough because most of you do it day to day as you walk down the street. You roll through your foot, heel to ball. You kind of push off that back foot a little bit. And if you can just do this to a count of 4 or 8, you can start with your left or right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back. 5, 6, 7, 8. Seems easy enough. 3, 4. Every step, there's a weight change to my left foot, to my right foot. Two-step and Box Trot are largely dances that involve walking steps. When you move around the floor in a two-step, you take 2 small steps and 2 bigger steps. counted 2, quick, quick, slow, slow, which we'll get into counts and all that sort of stuff as we go along. But if you'll practice just walking forward, walking back, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to turn around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One thing to think about is the way that you put your foot on the floor. In certain dances, it's heel to ball. You roll through the end of your foot, heel to ball. As you go back, it's ball to heel. Ball to heel, that should feel pretty natural. Sometimes you kind of scoot with your whole foot, which is often the case in two-step. And in Latin dances, you put the ball of your foot down first. But these are all sort of little details that come along later and make each dance. So you're doing a walking step in two-step, you're doing a walking step in Latin. It's going to look differently in each dance because of the style that you attach to it, or the way that you execute the move. Whether or not you move your whole body at once, like this, or whether you take your foot out and then let your body move onto it slowly. So lots of things to think about. Dance is really intimidating for a lot of people. Maybe sometimes it's just frustrating, and it's like learning to play an instrument. There are so many different things to think about. But getting back to that fundamental idea of we've got walking steps. So then another thing that we have, and we were doing this a moment ago when we were moving side to side, we have side steps. If I were going to keep moving sideways, I'd bring my feet together, step together, changing weight with each step, step together, step together. If I were going to go back the other way, I have to take my weight off my right foot and go step together. So this is just like you move down crowded church pews, or down in a movie theater. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. We use this motion in dance all the time. Let's talk about the idea of when you go forward and back, we have, when we change direction. So if I take 4 steps forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got my right foot in front of my left, and all my weight is on my right foot. My left foot's free. If my next step is back, 5, I've just done what's called a rock step. So I went forward on my right foot and then back on my left. I didn't bring my feet together. I left them apart, forward, back. Or if I went back, 1, 2, 3, 4, back on my left, forward on my right, that is also a rock step. If I took my weight to the side on my right foot and then back to the other side on my left, I've changed direction. So my momentum is going one way and now it's going the other way. That's called a rock step. We'll talk more about them as we go along, but rock steps you can do forward, back, you can go back, forward, you can go side to side, you can go cross, and then back again. You can go on a diagonal like that. But a rock step means that you start off going one way and then you end up going another. So maybe just in your day-to-day life as you're walking around, notice that you do this naturally. If you stop and you say, oh, where are my keys? And then you go back. There's a little transition where you slow down and then you go the other way. Rock steps. So far we've covered walking steps, side steps, rock steps, and then we're going to do what's called a touch or a tap. If we were going to go sideways, 1, 2, 3, and on 4, I just touched the ground but didn't change weight. So most of the time in dance you're changing weight, but here we're not going to. We're going to leave it on the left foot. Go back the other way. 5, 6, 7, 8 is just a touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So although most of our steps in dance will always change weight, there are times where we don't want to change weight, and that means you're going to end up using the same foot twice for more than one movement. Your weight just hangs out here on one foot, let's say it's your left in this case, and then your right foot can touch, can do all sorts of things. Maybe do a little sweep or a little style of some sort. And then when you're ready, put your weight on it, change your weight. We call them full weight transfers. And then the last thing that we are going to do is called a triple step. Let's talk about this real quick first, is that in dance, we talk about things in terms of 2 beats of music at a time, usually. So, in 2 beats of music, I can take 1 step or 1 weight transfer, and that would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I take 4 steps in 8 beats of music. Each step gets 2 beats of music. And notice that I'm not just frozen on each step, but I'm going to put my foot down and then use that extra time in the count to move my body. My foot hits the ground 1, I move on to it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my upper body is taking its time. It doesn't hit it all at once and then just hold. The other thing that we can do in 2 beats of music is take 2 steps. So that would look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm going backwards, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I take 2 steps in 2 beats of music, those are called quick steps. So a quick is 1 beat, 1 step per 1 beat. Quick, 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 quick. If it's two beats of music per step, those are called slows. Slow, slow, or 1, 2, 3, 4, slow, slow. So another exercise that you could do is take your walking steps and do 4 quicks and let's say 2 slows. That's a total of 8 beats of music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could do that with your side steps, just changing your weight back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's slow, slow. And then quick, 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 quick. So we're not moving there, but we are changing our weight, picking them back, picking our feet up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or slow, slow, quick, 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 quick. A big problem a challenge that a lot of beginners have is just making sure that their feet pick up and that you change the weight. Sometimes they kind of get stuck, especially if you're working with a partner and maybe you're changing your weight, slow, slow, and maybe they don't change their weight. Maybe they just stay there the whole time instead of changing their weight on the slows or on the quicks. So you want to get really good about knowing where your weight is and keeping your feet, for now, pretty much underneath your body. I'm not taking these huge steps where my foot is way out here or way back there or way over here. I want to kind of keep my feet underneath my body because then as soon as my foot hits the ground, I'm balanced. If I take a really big step out, then I split my weight and my weight goes in between my 2 feet, and then I don't know which foot to pick up next. Here it becomes really clear. My weight's on my right foot. I can take my left foot. I could do a walking step forward. I can do a walking step back. So when you've got your weight on 1 foot and you're balanced, so right now I've got my weight on my left foot, then my right foot is free to go, especially if I'm leading in the dance, then it's free to go wherever I want. I can go forward. I can take a forward walking step. I can take a backwards walking step. I could take a side step to the right. I could cross over and do a side step to the left. I could do a side step together, and then my left foot would be free. Free to go forward, free to go back, free to go sideways, free to go behind, free to go cross over in front, free to touch, and then move. So there's lots of options. Fundamentally though, walking steps forward and back, side steps forward and back, or crossing in front or behind. Rock steps forward back or back forward. Could be either foot, forward back or back forward. And touch steps, which again can kind of happen anywhere. They usually happen underneath your body right here, although it is conceivable that they could happen out farther away from your body. And then the last fundamental piece that we're going to talk about is called a triple step. So if we take 1 step in 2 beats of music, that's a slow. If we take 2 steps in 2 beats of music, that's a quick. And if we take 3 steps in 2 beats of music, that's called a triple step. And we're going to do them to the side for now, and that's going to look like step together, step. 1, 2, 3 steps, or 1, 2, 3. But because it's not 1, 2, 3 in the music, we have to count it 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, or 3 and 4. If you take your whole beats, or your whole numbers when you're counting, 1, 2, then halfway between the 1 and the 2, we call that and. So, and that's how musicians do it and how dancers do it. So, right at that halfway point between 1 and 2, so the first 2 steps are technically half beats each, 1 and now we move on to the 2, which is a whole number to itself, 2. There's an and there also between the 2 and the 3, but we're holding it. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and. Another way to count that is to divide, because it's 2 quicks. Quick is 1, 2. Then we would say quick and quick. Quick and quick. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And again, well not again, but your triple steps, just like your walking steps and your side steps, can go in any direction. You can triple step forward, triple step forward, triple step back, triple step back. Notice that most of the time when you triple step, your feet don't pass each other except at the beginning of the triple. So right foot forward, left foot forward, right foot forward, or left foot back, right foot back, or left this way, right that way. There are times later on when your feet will pass on a triple step or cross behind or in front, but that's getting a little more advanced. So starting off, triples, there will only be one, like where your feet pass. It'll only happen once every 2 beats. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so those are the foundational pieces of dance, and we can take those and shoot off in any direction. We can take just what we learned right there, and we can do a basic in a rumba, a basic in a waltz, a basic in a cha-cha, a basic in 2-step, a basic in Lindy Hop, a basic in East Coast Swing, a basic in West Coast Swing. We can do, just using those pieces, we can build into quite a few dances. And then how we style it, like whether we hit with the heel of our foot first or the ball of our foot first, that will tell us kind of what dance we're doing, and then what rhythm we do it in. That will change from dance to dance too. But again, the foundational pieces, the mechanics are all there. So I think that's probably good for now. If you're one that likes to practice, then the best thing that you can do is just put on some music and move around the room and try to be on beat. The beat stuff is tricky for some people, for sure. And I may try to get some royalty-free music, or just find a song that I'm not worried about, really, and we could like practice moving around. But again, like thinking in 2 beats at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, 7, 8. And think about like you're moving forward, you're moving back. A lot of times when couples come in and they're working on learning to dance, like for a wedding, I just have them do this. Walk forward and back, and then side to side. Side to side, side to side. You can take this in a little circle, little prom dance circle. It's not real sexy starting off, but eventually we can work it into some pretty cool stuff. Just notice that with every step I'm changing weight. Some of them are slows, slow, slow, or 2 beats of music. Some of them are quick, 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 forward, back, that's a rock step, or back, forward, back, forward. You just do this on your own, just practice moving around and changing your weight. Each time picking up your foot, and if you have to exaggerate it, that's okay. But notice how you do that in your day-to-day life too. Walking forward, walking backwards, turning sideways, maybe bending over, pick something up, whatever. Like you do these movements all the time. And there's some fluidity to it. When you walk down the street, it's not big and stiff and awkward. But a lot of times we get with a partner and something we do every day, which is just walk down the street. Now we've got our arms up and we're touching somebody, and then it gets weird and you start doing strange stuff. But it just boils down to what you do in your day-to-day life. You walk forward with a little confidence. You walk back. You can turn it in different directions. Turn around. Just still walking forward. Still walking back. Girls walk back more than guys do in dancing. I should say followers, because it's not gender specific. Sometimes girls lead, sometimes boys follow. And then just that side-to-side motion. So I've had my hands up like this in this video. That's because I lead most of the time. My left hand is up and then my right hand is kind of bent. My right arm is kind of bent. But if I were following, it would be just the opposite. This hand would come down and my right arm would come up. So a neutral, you could practice neutrally here. If you're following, then it would be right hand up, left arm bent. Leaders would be the opposite. So left hand up for the leaders. Okay, kind of went on a little longer than I thought, but again, if you have questions, feel free to message me at marcus@itsaboutmomentum.com. Again, you can find my email address on there'll be a link in the comment section, not the comment section, but the description, or you can just message with the comments with questions that you have or things that you would like me to cover, because I would like to get through and at least go through some of the basics and some of the things that you can do on your own for several of the different dances, and hopefully you can kind of see how these foundational pieces will apply to each one. Okay, thank you for hanging with me, and I hope you have a good day. All right, bye-bye.